Hello disc golf fans and welcome to the Sula Open 2018, brought to you by Discmania and also brought to you by SM Productions. We're out here at Sula Commune. We're going to be playing the first round of 18 holes. We're going to be watching Simon Lizotte, myself, Gregg Barsby, Karl, Johan, Nybo, and Peter Lunde. I'm joined by Philo Brathwaite. So, Philo, tell them about hole one.
Hole one, we got a tricky 433 foot or 132 meter par 3 with a tight tree line on the right, OB fence there you can see to the left, and a guardian tree right in the middle, right where you would probably call the sweet spot in the fairway if you were a right-handed player trying to sneak a hyzer in there. It's really tight. There's typically a lot of wind blowing from right to left, so it's a tough hole. I've been seeing a lot of guys throw rollers. Seems to be a smart play. The fence line can retain your shot, so we'll see what happens here.
Okay, so as you can see, the conditions are pretty nice. It hasn't been so nice on this hole as practice.
No.
So first up, Simon. I believe he's going with a roller here, maybe with a nice old beat up PD2. You can tell he hit it pretty hard. That's one thing you see a lot of players throw their shot pretty aggressive if they're playing the roller. That's a fantastic throw.
Pretty much how he dialed it up in his mind.
From the United States of America, Gregg, Barsby.
I'm also going to be playing the roller here. This is an STD, similar to a Roadrunner. That one got a little to the right on me, and thankfully there's a fence there, so there's no water on this hole.
Yeah, the roller's pretty safe on this hole. It can't really get away from you unless you cut way early or something. There's some openings in the fence line there up until about 150 feet, so you'd have to drop one real early and cut super early to end up OB with the roller.
KJ taking his T-bird. Oh, yeah, it looks like that one just kind of got up on him a little bit.
Yeah, he didn't get it down fast enough.
From Norway.
Peter Lunde, young player out of Skien, Norway. He's a team in of a player. He's got a silky smooth throw.
Yeah, this kid can throw a mile. He's definitely got some skills around the putting green as well. He's a pretty well-rounded player. He's just young and got some, experience to go through, some time.
Get up.
Yeah, that's a tough way to start the round there.
That's a pretty typical landing spot for that hyzer or air shot. Seen a lot of players that just barely fade back over the fence here.
Yeah, he's...
So notice how Peter played from back behind the fence, no closer to the basket. That's one of the new rules on the PDGA. So he played his lie just back so he could get a nice swing. And KJ going with the putter here. That's a really nice shot from where he was.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
Kind of tied up there. I decided to go for the flick here. I could have played the backhand, but I like the sidearm play. Just kind of bump it up a little, right up on the green. Peter, this is for a 4. No dice. Tough way to start here.
KJ to save bogey. Solid.
Count it. Boy, Simon's just waiting. He's just waiting for everybody. That's what happens when you throw a really good first shot. You typically are waiting for the rest of the guys to get through the hole. I tap in the 3. I'm okay with a 3 on this hole. It's one of the tougher holes to get a birdie on. I think there were only 3 on the day yesterday, so.
Yeah, that's a tough one, especially if it's really gusty. Hole 2, we got a tight wooded shot with a Mandy there, right off the left, and a pretty tight corridor, maybe 20 feet wide, 25 feet wide tops, and yeah, the danger is clicking off one of these trees because that OB fence there to the right comes really quick if you throw the inside hyzer route and nick a tree and start moving right. That'll sneak up on you pretty fast. It's one of the few holes that doesn't have OB directly behind the basket, so a little bit more of an aggressive shot off the tee for most of these guys.
I noticed a few players that play this shot low and kind of get it to skip up. Oh, Simon doesn't like that at all. And he kicked over to the left. You can also kick OB left here if you catch the bad bounce off of the gate. I play the flip up eagle. And caught a nice little break there at the end. Anywhere down there on the green I'm pretty satisfied with. The main thing is just hitting the gap on this hole. KJ's taking a rock here. Oh, and you saw it just barely stayed safe. He hit about middle of the fence. And Peter also playing the rock shot. And he pushes it right through. And this is what I was talking about, where it just kind of scuttles up.
Grind up there, yep. Yeah. That's not a bad play. Keep it down on the ground. Nice stable edge on the disc, and it should cruise up there.
I think that was Simon. Was that KJ?
It looked like, I'm not sure. No, that's KJ now, so that was Simon.
Both of them navigated kind of a hairy little line there.
There's a lot of trees on that left side. They're not in a row either. They're scattered all over the place. KJ to, oh no, same par. A little high. It's definitely a headwind putt from that angle, I can tell you that. Great to tap in for birdie.
Yeah. Nice to get a birdie on one of these first two holes. Kind of just get you moving. Seen more than a few fours on this hole this weekend, which is,
it's an intimidating tee shot. It seems pretty elementary when you step up to it and you see a pretty straight looking gap, but you pull the line a little bit and you're in trouble in a hurry. So here we are at hole 3. It's another longer par 3, 126 meters, measuring 413 in feet. Got some Barranca that's really not OB, but you don't really want to land in that stuff, and a hazard to the left if you should hyzer out. There's a left to right wind on this hole typically, so you don't want to push the disc too far to the right, and you definitely don't want to stall out early left. So it's a really tough hole. You want to throw it hard, but you can't let the disc roll too hard to the right either, because there's a lot of funky stuff on the right side of the fairway.
Yeah, this hole looks pretty simple, and then all of a sudden you throw it, and as you can see, I thought that was a really good shot that I threw, and it just got dragged over.
It started off on line, and then the wind out there got under it, and there she goes. So Peter's got the distance for this hole. Let's see what he's going to do. Throwing a destroyer. There you go.
That's got a good move on it.
Should be hyzering back shortly. A little wide as well. That's just the wind holding it out.
Yeah.
That's all that is. It was a nicely thrown shot.
Simon taking his stable PD2 after he saw what happened to ours. Threw the shot really well. He kind of bounced back off of the stuff there. There's a little shelf, so he rolled out maybe to 25 feet.
KJ's a bit inside, and that's going towards the hazard for sure.
Yeah, that's in the hazard. So he's going to play from there, but add a stroke penalty.
He'll be putting for 3. From way beyond the circle.
Ding.
It's good.
I think his
That was
instincts
way
kicked
beyond
in.
circle 2. Either way, it's in the basket. He'll save 3. Looks like Gregg looking for a layup.
I actually ran that one, but it's just real tight, and I didn't want to overshoot it because the green's a little hairy. Again, there's some trees right around the basket, so.
Yep. That looked like Peter, right?
The half and half. Yeah, Peter couldn't get it through. Look, Simon here, he goes over the limb, under another limb. That was a smooth putt.
It's a good birdie to pick up. He made that look pretty easy. He threw that hyzer only, and it hyzered the whole time. Not easy to do in that stiff crosswind. especially at 126 meters or so. That's a long rip on a hyzer angle, especially with 20 miles an hour plus crossing wind.
Definitely a Simon shot.
Oh, absolutely.
Without a doubt. So that puts Simon to 2 under. I'm at 1 under. Peter is at 1 over, and KJ, with that big save, is at 2 over. So here we are in hole 4. This is one of the most interesting holes on this course. By design, it seems pretty simple. There's maybe 45, maybe 15 meters of safe on the right side. You're basically playing the track all the way around. The OB starts about 50 feet from the island green, and then it's an island green. So we've seen some big numbers here this week. This hole can definitely give them up.
Yeah, you're definitely, if you're the right-handed player, you have a few options. You could either throw you could do this. You can go a roller. Seems to be the smartest play, just crash into the fence.
Yeah, that's perfect.
That's a smart play as well. I mean, that's one way to do it. If you're not a roller player, you're probably going to throw a backhand nice and tight and try to get a low skip off of the gravel. But the roller seems to be a smart play because you can really take advantage of the length, and then you know the disc is supposed to finish to the right, which is where you want to be.
I'm a little short there, but that's not a bad place to be here.
It's not really that short. I mean, it's a good angle. That's really all you're looking for, is a good angle to the green, so you have a nice space to aim for out there by the target.
Peter following suit. I mean, that's really the play here. Just get it over.
The only tricky thing I would say about that is that you only get a meter off of the fence, so KJ didn't get it over enough, so I don't think that's gonna
that's
finish.
not gonna make it. That's not gonna make it.
No.
Oh my goodness.
Comes up just short, so he will be re-teaming 3.
Again, that's wide again.
Yeah, he's not getting the nose to turn over.
Funny enough, you can tell the wind's kind of pushing from the left to the right here because you're not seeing them flip all the way over. They kind of want to push back.
So now he's...
I think he took his T-bird here and just pitched it over, which is the smart play.
Well, this is the play that I was getting at earlier. This is kind of what most people are going to try to do, is just throw a hyzer out there. This gravel is actually a lot slower than you would think looking at it. It looks like really hard packed, but it really kind of just gobbles up the disc, so...
It's tough to skip back OB.
It's hard to skip back OB, so I mean, it seems scary, but if you can throw it out there with confidence, typically it's going to slow down much faster than you think.
KJ's taking his Huck Lab Firebird.
That's
Boink.
for 6, and he's got that for 7. Peter's backed up against the fence. And that was what I was getting to earlier, is that's the only bad thing about that lie.
Wow.
So it kind of messes up the run up a little bit. It kind of makes you take a little jagged one-step thing like that and just fling it over there. I typically like to have a little bit more space, but Barsby drops it in there perfectly.
Yeah, it's a weird one. When you're reaching back, you almost feel like you're going to hit your disc on the fence.
Simon's taking the spike route in there.
Boink.
There you go.
Yeah, no problem there. Now Peter goes up to where his disc was last in bounds. This hole just plays as normal OB rules until you go for the island. So if he were to miss here, then he would just replay the shot.
Yep.
He's in.
Simon for birdie.
Simon,
Ooh.
a little bump up. Thank you.
Easy. KJ tapping in for triple bogey.
It should be no problem, but a little bit of a breeze. Yep. If this basket was maybe elevated another 2 feet, that would change these short putts, I think. It's kind of just, it's a little elevated, but not enough to mess with it. If it starts getting windy and this basket's a little higher, all of a sudden you might see some 3 or 4 meter putts not landing just because of the angle of the disc when they're going in.
So we're at hole 5 now. This is a par 4, 161 meters. This is a tricky hole. For me, I think I tried to throw a driver off the tee and it just was too much. I'm clubbing down to a rock, and you kind of want to land left of these trees here in the center of the fairway. It gives you the best angle into the green. It's really tight down there by the basket. The OB is within 15 feet, 3 meters, 4 meters, 5 meters, somewhere in there from where the basket is. I mean, it's a real quick drop off. So you definitely want to have a good angle to give yourself the best chances at a soft, smooth landing.
They have a string line, and I was surprised to see Simon go for this angle. He went with the turnover. Obviously, he's really good at this shot, but I was expecting him to throw a hyzer out over the water and then to let it drag in.
Yeah, the wind is blowing from right to left, so you would think, you would take it up and over and let the wind push it back towards the fairway, but...
I decided to play the eagle here, so 11-time eagle. Just got over on it a little bit and had a weird bounce off the bottom off the bottom of the siding there. Shot it down onto roller angle. Thankfully it stayed safe, but that was pretty sketchy.
Well, it could have went a lot worse.
Yeah, Peter played it straight down and got a nice bounce there off of the
I think that was a bit
gravel.
of a misfire, but again, getting a little fortunate with the good ground play.
KJ, I think he's just taking something long and straight here and just had an early release. Barely cleared over the house and then sent it into go, go, go.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's the wrong sport for that, but everybody's been watching it after in the clubhouse.
Oh, a little bit of a foot fault there, Greggy.
Yeah, was it?
Yeah, you stepped on your disc, buddy, but let's see what happens
Let's
out here.
roll it back. I don't believe you.
Yeah. KJ playing his 3rd shot. Oh, that looked a little strong too.
Obi.
Yeah, that wind is pushing, so it's tough to come in there with the right speed. There you go.
That was prime.
That looked nice.
So Simon kind of caught a bad break there, went out of bounds, and then just pitched his putter up. He'll have an easy tap 4. Looks like the karma gods got me right away for that football.
Yeah, I don't know. These OB lines are kind of tricky on some of these holes. Most people would say, hey, there's a water line, why not just use that? But, they do things a little different. So they say usually the water is a little higher, so
maybe about 8 meters.
Chuck it in there.
Yeah, it got breezy right there. That was a nice little conversion. I was happy with that just to get the 4 and keep it moving.
KJ, oof.
That's a beautiful shot right there.
That was a nice shot. Simon saves 4. No problem.
And Peter with a tap in 3.
The lone bird.
Yeah. Okay, and we're back to hole 6. This hole, 122 meters or 400 feet over the water the whole way. This is a really interesting hole, and there's no drop zone here.
Are they calling this a par 4, really?
They are,
Really?
and rightfully so. I think there were double-digit scores here, but that comes with the lack of a drop zone. I think if they made a drop zone after the 1st or 2nd shot, this hole would be a bit more fair because the wind is typically coming from the left to the right here, very strong.
Yeah, you can see Pete's clothes there. They're blowing around, and those bushes in front. It's no joke out there right now. That's kind of what we saw a lot of all day. The wind just slamming the disc down and pushing it to the right. It's really important that you get the disc up into the air when you're throwing these types of shots into crazy hard side wind like that. There you go. Simon shows you what to do. Getting it up in the air and keeping that stable edge turning towards the target.
Boink.
Wow.
Park job.
Parked it.
So I'm playing a destroyer here, and I'm also playing the wind, throwing it to the left side and then let the wind drag it over.
There you go, and then get the stable edge late. Oof, just across and safe and looking at a birdie putt.
Yeah, it looks really close. All of a sudden you get up there to that little ridge there. Headwind 3-meter putt is really tricky just to get it down and into the basket. KJ, pretty much just playing it straight at it. That's a quality look there.
Solid. Oh, bad break.
Kind
on
of
the
a little
roll out.
rollback.
Yeah. Made that putt a little bit longer.
It's actually almost a little easier to putt from there. I would have rather been where he was.
Got to get a huge skip to get back to safe.
No.
Oh, man. Yeah, you got to get that thing in the air, brother.
Peter now shooting 5.
There we go.
He hit that one a bit harder.
Yeah, and he got it up in the air too, and the disc is stabling up. Looks like right on time.
Yeah, there we go.
That's in the circle it should be, I think. Hard to see from this angle. KJ, nice birdie.
Peter looking to tap out a 6 here. Notice how hard he putt that?
Yeah, he jammed it in there. That might have been a little bit of pissed offedness, or maybe just ensuring that it stays in the chains with that wind blowing back in his face.
As you can see, I'm down in the very bottom. I would have much rather been 3 or 4 foot back there. I think the putt's easier from where KJ was than where I was, and we're talking about it. Simon made that hole look effortless. Just pitched it right over, parked it.
Yeah.
So now we go on the walk to hole 7. This is one of the more interesting holes on the course. It's almost 150 meters, so by the distance, it's reachable for a couple of the guys, but the way the hole shapes, you have a mandatory there on the tree on the right, and the landing zone is blocked kind of by this fir tree here and these couple of pine bushes.
Birch tree, yeah. That's kind of not really the landing zone. You'd want to finish about left of where the camera is now. That would give you the best angle, I'd say, to the basket after you get to the crest of the hill. But if you can straighten that out, if you've got the speed to go beyond that birch straight, then you're going to have a putter up shot at worst. You know, most people are going to have to throw a sidearm in there or try to get tricky with some kind of a Scooby or, you know, something that's going to just drop out of the sky, because it's a really weird green.
Yeah, there's not really a clean way to get into this basket.
That's a tough, I mean, that's not the worst place that Simon could have landed. He's still got some kind of a flick. Maybe he can backhand it up there. I'm not sure what he's going to try to do, but it's not the worst place to land.
Right, well, I'm taking a boss and I'm playing a hyzer flip here. And just a little lower than where I wanted it.
You still got an angle from there. There's actually some space on that right side.
KJ drawing it up in his mind, using some visualization.
Got to get past that one there. Get a little bit more. All right, that's not terrible.
That's a good place to be. Anywhere up there and it's nice and open.
I think ideally people would like to be about another 30 meters further. Not maybe 30, maybe 20, 15, 20, and then you have a really nice angle. That's still not bad. Pete's got the distance to get way up the fairway. Let's see what he does.
Peter goes pound town, taking it up and over.
There you go.
Yeah, and see, now that's the issue because the wind's
much.
coming from the right there,
Yep.
and as soon as you get it to where you think you want to throw it, it blows into the woods.
So KJ's trying to go up and around the corner and just kind of crash through there and hopefully get a look into the green. It's really
rolled.
weird undulation green and a really steep drop off right at the basket. So you're definitely trying to come in a little wide, but it's hard because those moguls make it tough to get it up and over.
So I'm looking at leaning out here because I'm tied into the trees, and then playing a kind of a flex shot.
Crash the trees and drop onto the
Yeah, I
green.
got away with that one, I think, a little bit. It was a little short, but I'll have about a 25-footer. Now, Simon off the knee. This is an awesome shot. He hits about a 4-foot gap,
That's about as
cleans it in there.
perfect as you can do it. All right. Peter's got a little bit of an angle there. That didn't time up too bad. There you go.
Nice and
There
smooth.
you go. Yep.
You can kind of see the green now where it's
That's inside the circle, yeah.
It's hard to feel like you can land it anywhere and get it to stay, but it's pretty sticky grass.
Nice putt for birdie.
Yep, snuck that one out. That's a good one to get, and it seems like a lot of the guys will get this hole. But
Oh no,
wow, that just got blown out of the basket.
that was rude. Normally would count that from Simon there. Pete looks like
Peter
a death putt. but
looking to
looks
tap
like
it
he's-
in.
Oh no, whoa. Looks like he just kind of shoved that one off the line. Didn't keep that committed to the center of the basket. Now he's just inside the circle, putting back up the hill with tailwind. Oh no.
Yeah, that was a tough break. He was just about to keep it moving,
That's brutal.
you know, especially after taking the 6 on the prior hole.
Yeah, that's tough to go from a pretty much tap-in birdie to a bogey.
KJ with a nice birdie there.
Yeah, KJ with a bounce back.
Simon with the par, the nasty spit out. That's one of these holes that, man, there's a great angle. Look at that one. So tasty.
Hole 8. This is a pretty reachable hole for everybody, I think. It's 86 meters up the hill, under 300. Gravity does play effect. The line is really tight. You're definitely aiming from, the right-handed backhand player, high left corner, and something that's going to slide right nice and slow and miss this birch here on the left. It's a tricky hole. There's not a lot of space for the perfect shot. There's a bunch of space for a decent shot, but definitely got to pipe it. You're going uphill, so gravity's going to take a lot of that speed off.
And if you leave it low here, there's like some stumps in the ground and some stuff that really, it just doesn't want to go anywhere. As you saw right there, it just stops.
Now, that's a smart play, though. I mean, the sidearm seems to be the most conducive angle to stick up there.
KJ taking a T-bird, I believe.
There you go.
That's an ace run.
Beautiful.
That was tasty.
Thank you.
I think Simon may be playing his PD. Smooth as silk. Another ace run.
Wow.
Woohoo! He was right on the line the whole
yeah,
way.
super clean. I haven't figured this hole out yet. Just can't find a disc that wants to do that flight for me. Pete gunning it up the left side. It's got a slide. Oh, catches some stuff, and you'll have about a 90-foot, 100-foot upshot up the hill here.
So he's taking the putter stance. This is a risky one,
Jump putt up.
and
Oh,
it
no.
kicked off the stuff right in front of him. There's just a lot
Yeah.
of foliage there.
It's usually best to just lay those types of holes up when you've already kind of made your mistake from the tee pad. Not very often you're going to throw them in from down there.
This is maybe 25-footer, 22-footer, but still uphill. Get the birdie there.
And a way to keep the mo going down to, up to 5 under now, or down to 5 under for the round.
Yeah, these are a couple holes that I practiced early in the week. So I feel comfortable on these holes, even though this is really where you start to get into the meat of the course. after this hole.
KJ with a nice little hat trick there.
Yeah, KJ smoothing, Simon's on smooth. Peter is roughing it.
Yeah, Pete's having a rough go right now. He's
three tough holes in a row.
Yeah.
You just got to take a breath and get it back moving.
This is a tricky hole here, hole 9. It's 511 feet, 156 meters. That little bush out there is kind of the aiming spot. There's a little bit of grass cut out just beyond it, which gives you the perfect angle to get up to the green because there's a really tight dog leg, kind of a button hook effect to this hole with a mando tree right on the corner. The first tree there at the corner is going to be the mando. So you really want to get up into that little cutout area there and give you the best angle. If not, I mean, your best is probably going to be a 4. You're going to have a hard time creating a shot that gets you to the green, especially when it's windy. So we'll see what these guys are going to try to whip up here.
You know, the main thing is you just want to hit this gap out of the gate, you know.
Yeah, I mean, the gap's not that intimidating. There's plenty of space. You just really want to get beyond that bush out there in the middle. That's where you're aiming for. I
pulled that one just a little bit. And it faded back, but short.
A little bit early, so it's going to be tough to create an angle to get up to the green.
I'm not happy about that one.
Yeah, you just kind of concede the hole. If you don't make it there, then you're just going to play 2 layup shots. KJ pulled it over to the right also a little bit, which tends to happen because the OB on the left sneaks up really quick if you start getting stable, you know, a little early. That OB line is a lot shorter than you'd think.
There you go. Simon played it right. Played a hyzer flip up on the left side there.
Overthrow it. Nope, that's perfect. Now you can see the basket. He's got a nice little gap through the trees there. It should be no problem.
Yeah, he's got an eagle look.
Eagle look if he wants to, but it's very tight behind the basket, so you can't get too aggressive unless you want to putt for 4. Pete smashes on it. Let's see if it fizzles out before the OB line, though. And he
right
does.
In the prime time zone.
The perfect angle, I would say, if you're throwing a straight shot. That is where you want to be.
So KJ's playing a big high AVR here, I believe.
This is a tough shot if you're trying to be aggressive to the green. It is not easy because, oof.
Sick.
Wow.
A beautiful shot there from KJ to get even a look.
Wow, that was awesome.
That's also a really dangerous look.
Absolutely. The OB lines up there on the green are super tight, so
I'm taking mine high, trying to dive it back in there on the other side. That's inside the circle, but kind of an interesting stance.
So Pete's got the perfect angle. Now he's just got to whip one through the trees here and slow down and nestle up by the basket.
That looked great.
That looked pretty tasty. And Simon's got to look for eagle if he wants to go for it. Oh, what a run. I mean, wow. I mean, you kind of have to go for it if you got that kind of skill and touch.
I'm pretty sure he was like blind on that shot too.
That
like he
awesome.
Kind of stepped up and was looking at it.
Yeah. So Gregg putting for his 3 after the early shrubbage.
I don't know what happened there.
Oh, no.
I do not know what happened. That was...
Looked like it kind of slipped out of your hand or something.
Yeah, that was definitely uncharacteristic.
Yeah, I would say so. Simon picks up the birdie.
Although, I was almost happy that I airballed it completely because if you miss this one low, you can roll down and go out of bounds.
Right back and add another stroke.
Even worse.
Well, I guess you could re-putt it if it rolled all the way to OB.
True.
All right, so Simon and Pete pick up the birdie.
I think I'm more of a purist. I'm not a huge fan of that rule. I play it as a lies.
Gregg and KJ card a par, nice safe par. Actually, they threw some pretty amazing shots, but so here we are after the first 9. Simon is at 6, Gregg's at 5 under par. KJ is trying to scrap together from his rough start and at +3, and Pete's at +6.
So that's the front 9. On to the back where we are going to see some par 5s and get to see Simon open up just a little bit.